Hi guys, it's Max, and tonight this is not an ASMR video, but instead something a little bit different that I wanted to show you guys because I thought it was kind of crazy. Just absolutely fascinating. So I'll get right to the point. I was surfing TikTok, right? And I found this this thing called Google Notebook LM, and it's essentially this AI model that you feed information. It could be like school notes, it could be homework, it could be a paper, if you just need like highlights for bullet points or to help you learn quicker, faster, whatever, right? So I had this really funny idea that I was going to feed it 3 fanfics that I've written about my character Max and another character, this female fitness model. If you don't follow me on Twitter, you might not have any idea what I'm talking about, but this like female wolf that belongs to Saruk Scales, and this interaction between them over the course of several different kind of fanfic written stories written by myself. And I gave this notebook LM 3 of those stories, and I asked it to like kind of summarize them for me, create something, whatever. And there's this really weird feature that, if asked, it can create a podcast of 2 people talking about whatever you gave it and kind of summarizing it and analyzing it, and like it just got so weird so fast. So without further ado, I'm going to play for you guys the podcast that this AI model has created. I've only listened to the first 30 seconds, so everything after that will kind of just be general reactions from me. So I hope you enjoy, and we're going to go down this rabbit hole together.
Ever find yourself going down a rabbit hole online and ending up somewhere you never expected? Like a world that's both kind of niche, but also makes you think about things in a whole new way.
Absolutely. It's amazing how these seemingly specific interests can reveal these fascinating insights into broader human desires and anxieties.
Totally. And that's exactly what we're doing today. We're diving headfirst into the world of, well, furry photography erotica.
And you'd be surprised how much there is to unpack here.
Right.
I'm sorry, hello? I'm being called out here. This is unprecedented. But sure, let's keep going.
It's not just what it seems on the surface. But first, let's set the stage. We're looking at the work of this author, Max the Raccoon, online.
That's me.
He seems particularly fond of one very fit wolf.
Yeah, a wolf named Kyla. And he's written these 3 short stories about their encounters, and he actually inserts himself into the stories as the character Max, a photographer.
Okay, while that is true, I never said that in the story, okay? That'd be weird, right? If I was just like, by the way, in the first paragraph of the story, this is me inserting myself into the story. No, I just wrote the story, but clearly this thing has decided that because my name is on the work and that the character is named Max, it just decided that, yeah, that's not just a coincidence. This might, in fact, be a self-insert, so...
Which adds this really interesting layer of like self-awareness to it all, don't you? Yeah, like he's playing with these power dynamics and how they shift.
Definitely. All right, so the first story, Kyla's photo shoot, starts pretty typically. Max is in his studio expecting a client for a photo shoot, probably some tasteful boudoir stuff.
Standard photography gig.
Right. But then Kyla shows up, and she is not what he expected at all.
Not your average client, right?
Not even close. She's described as tall and seriously strong, and she's carrying this duffel bag that kind of hints that she's ready for anything.
Setting the tone right from the start.
Okay, they're just having a conversation with each other, and neither of these people are real. Like, hello?
Totally. And she's there with a specific goal in mind. She wants to get her photos taken for this magazine called Fit Furs Monthly.
Okay, and that detail right there, that's huge. It tells us right away that she's looking for validation, not just from any photographer, but within this very specific community. And that ambition, that desire for recognition, it kind of sets the stage for how the rest of their encounter plays out.
Totally. So Kyla's not shy at all. She immediately starts changing right there in front of Max. And the author really focuses on her physique, the muscles, her strength.
Definitely catering to a certain audience with those descriptions.
Oh,
I don't
for
know what
sure.
you're talking
And it's
about.
in that moment that we see the power dynamic shift for the first time. Kyla's in control, and she knows it.
You can't see, but the blush is real here. I didn't in a million years think that I would be called out in such a manner by an AI.
Dictating the terms of their interaction just by being comfortable in her own skin.
Yeah, and poor Max is trying so hard to keep his cool, to be professional, but the author lets us see right through that facade. Like, there's this part where he uses the excuse of applying lotion to touch Kyla's muscles.
Smooth, Max, real smooth.
I know, right? It's kind of funny, but it also shows how captivated he is by her.
And it's subtle, but the author starts using these photography terms almost like his own form of flirting. He'll describe the way Max is looking at Kyla as a low angle, which in photography is often used to make the subject look more powerful, more.
This is what I get for going to film school. It all culminated in this. The ability to write for erotica fan fiction has completely defined my degree, I guess. So, is what it is, right?
Posing.
Oh, that's a good catch. So he's literally looking up at her, both figuratively and literally.
Exactly. It adds this whole layer of subtext to the story.
Spicy.
I love that. We've got power dynamics already shifting, some humor mixed in there, and a photographer who's totally in over his head. And remember, this is just the first story. So we left Max and Kyla back in the studio, things getting, a little heated. But the second story, Max and Kyla get frisky, takes us out of the studio completely and throws them right...
For the record, that's the name of the story because most people don't actually read what I title a file. So that's on me.
Right into a chance encounter on a busy street.
Talk about a change of scenery.
Right, and the power dynamic, it flips completely this time. It's Max who's completely starstruck when he bumps into Kyla, like he turns into a total fanboy.
Which, let's be honest, is kind of relatable, right? Who hasn't been a little starstruck meeting someone they admire?
Okay, guy. Okay.
And Kyla, being Kyla, she completely owns it. She's in her element. She invites Max to help her pick out an outfit at a nearby store for her OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. Okay, so for anyone who might not be familiar with that particular corner of the internet,
it's essentially a platform where creators can share content, often adult content, with subscribers for a fee.
right?
This AI just told me what OnlyFans is in the middle of describing my fan fiction. Oh no.
Right, so already there's this existing dynamic of Kyla profiting from her image, controlling access to herself, which adds another layer to their interaction.
Absolutely. It's not just about attraction anymore. It's about power, control, and who dictates the terms of their encounter.
And of course,
Spicy.
where do they end up? The fitting room. It's like the author knew exactly how to build tension using that
I get it. Fitting room. She's fit.
confined, semi-public space to really turn up the heat.
It plays on those fantasies right. The thrill of the forbidden. Crossing lines you wouldn't normally cross. And Max is completely overwhelmed, especially as Kyla starts, taking charge.
Yeah, and again, we see those specific descriptions of Kyla's body, the muscles, the strength, all carefully chosen to appeal to the desires of the audience.
It's deliberate, for sure.
It's me, I'm the audience. Hi.
It draws you into their world, into that heightened sense of desire and attraction.
And just when things are about to go, really far, the author injects this little bit of humor. Max's reaction, a mix of excitement and pure terror. It's almost cartoonish.
It's that self-awareness again, that wink at the reader that keeps things from getting too serious, too heavy. It's a reminder that even within these fantasies, there's room for laughter and a bit of awkwardness.
They were calling me out at first, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little flattered. Just putting it out there.
So we've seen them in the studio, had that chance encounter on the street, and now this beach party, it's like a whole different vibe.
Oh yeah, totally different playing field.
Yeah.
Like, we're not just dealing with physical attraction anymore,
Yeah.
right? This is about social status, image, that whole scene. Exactly. So you'd think Kyla would be in her element, right?
Yeah. Right. She's confident. She's used to turning heads.
But that's what makes this story so interesting. Because here, at this party, we see a different side of her. She seems almost, not exactly shy, but unsure of herself.
Yeah,
We love character development.
like a little out of place. And that vulnerability, it kind of sneaks up on you.
Definitely. And it shifts their whole dynamic. Because this time, it's Kyla who seeks out Max.
She's the one who approaches him.
Yep. Asks him for a drink, actually. And it's specific too, an amaretto sour.
Haha, no time for small talk. She's on a mission.
It's my favorite drink of all time. Just saying. But totally not a self-insert or anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
And even though she's the one who approached him, there's still that playful energy between them. Like, the author never loses that thread of humor, even when things start getting more intense.
Yeah, which I think is important. It keeps the tone from getting too serious, too heavy. It's a good reminder that even with all the sinner explicitness, these stories are still about having fun and exploring these fantasies.
Absolutely.
Aww. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Things progress. They end up in a cabana, which again, perfect setting for intimacy and, well,
Things getting a little heated.
As things develop, there's this really interesting focus on how Kyla's muscles feel. Not just how they look, but how strong they are.
It's like the author's emphasizing her physical power again, right?
Exactly. Tying it back to that desire for strength, dominance.
Stop. Stop. Oh my god.
But it's not just about the physicality of it, is it? It's about how those desires play out in these relationships, these power dynamics.
And it all culminates in that final image of Kyla carrying Max back to the party. Like, literally carrying him.
Talk about a role reversal. It's a really clever way to end the story, I think. It brings their whole journey full circle.
It makes you think about those initial assumptions we all make, like how we perceive ourselves and others and how those perceptions can shift and change depending on the situation.
And isn't that what makes exploring these kinds of stories so fascinating? They might seem niche, maybe even a little taboo at first glance.
We're all furries here, right? It's okay. It's okay.
But they make us question, they make us think about things in a new light.
Exactly. It's about looking beyond the surface, finding the deeper meanings and connections. And sometimes you find those deeper meanings in the most unexpected places. So next time you stumble across something that seems a little outside your comfort zone, don't be afraid to take a closer look. You never know what you might discover.
Oh my god. That was insane. They just analyzed 3 stories that I wrote, broke down the character elements, broke down power dynamics, psychological analysis, just everything about my stories, and it put it into this like back in English class sense where your teacher just kind of tears apart some work that was written 300 years ago, except brings this one kind of into a modern sense because of the content. And it was self-aware enough to realize that the aspects of the content are a bit different, but praised it anyway. Honestly, was not ready for this. I hope this has blown your mind as much as mine. Any questions, let me know. And if you try this program yourself, let me know how it goes. But be careful. Be careful. Bye, guys.